Hello and welcome to Shepreneur with BC Ubo and Africa Business Radio, the only show that spotlights African women succeeding in their craft with a view to understanding their processes and celebrating their ingenuity. So welcome to the show. On the trivia today, we will be having a continuation of the self-care series. And I mentioned the different forms of self-care, such as emotional, physical, and spiritual. Now, emotional self-care caters to your inner sense of self, your inner sense of feelings, your intellect. It is one of the most important facets of your self-care routine. It means caring for your emotional needs by identifying and nurturing your feelings, your conscious inner state, and your intellect. We all get carried away with the stress of life most times and forget to nurture our feelings. Once you learn to handle your thoughts and feelings, you will be able to get through any tough emotional situations. I'll be taking a break now. When we come back, we go straight into She Motivates. Stay with us. Welcome back to She Motivates. Today, we celebrate Divine Nkulukula from Zimbabwe. Divine Nkulukula tackled a male-dominated industry head-on, inspiring countless women on the continent to pursue their dreams despite the odds. Divine is the founder and managing director of Securico, a security company she started in the late 90s in her cottage with 4 employees and very little capital. Today, Securico is one of the largest security firms in Zimbabwe with more than 3,500 employees. Divine is ready for regional dominance with plans to expand into other countries on the continent, starting with Mozambique and Zambia. Last year, Divine was selected as one of the most influential female leaders in the world by empowering 1 billion women by 2020, a global women empowerment movement whose list also included world leaders like Michelle Obama, Hillary Clinton, and Mozambican former First Lady Graca Machel. I hope that you have been inspired by Divine Nkulukula. I think I have. I'll take a break now. When I come back, we'll go straight to the Shira segment. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Shira segment of Shepreneur with BC Ubo and Africa Business Radio. This is usually my favorite segment where I get to go one-on-one with the Shira of the day. And today, I have a talent management consultant, TV presenter, model, and a sex coach. Yay! Welcome with me, Sharon Ifeoma Anene, a.k.a. Shazzling. Welcome, girl.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
You are.
Strangely, Mickey has been asking me to come here for almost a year now.
Wow.
And I've been dulling.
Oh.
I finally got here and I'm like,
you were waiting for me to start.
I wanted somebody who understands where I'm coming from.
I know
somebody
that,
who
sister.
can feel me. Somebody who is ready to come.
Ga. The show hasn't even started and the craze has started. All right. So today we want to be talking about the new sex culture.
Okay.
I was looking for a topic and I was like, should I say something? Should we talk about sex in the city? Because there's a lot of sex going on. With
in
everything,
the world.
I'm telling you, with everything that's happening, with all the banditry we're hearing, there's no money, the farmers are complaining, the schools, children are being abducted, some people are getting down under the sheets.
So much
sex. So I thought it was important that we talk about it.
Okay.
And but before I do that, I would like to ask what a graduate of geology is doing as a sex coach. Aren't you supposed to be mining gold or something?
I'm supposed to. So my story is really different, and I don't want to use the word weird, but it's different because I actually wanted to practice geology. In fact, I was the best graduating in my department. So naturally, when you're the best graduating, then Shell used to employ. So I was hoping that, I will get a job with Shell. But somehow that year, it didn't work. In fact, it was my set that now started the process of no more best graduating
Wow.
gains employment, right? So I stayed, I applied, nothing was happening. You know, I got tired of applying. That's the truth. I stopped sending my CVs out. I just said, let me rest. Let me do something else. And then I went into talent management.
Okay.
So I moved to Lagos. At the time I was in Port Harcourt. I moved to Lagos and started the talent management company. And it was going well. But I had a passion for sex therapy.
You like bad things. Can I say that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do. I can see it all over you.
I like sex. Sex is good. Penis is sweet. Yes. You should have orgasms too.
Oh,
so
interesting.
I told myself, I was doing it for fun. So I would just tell my friends, try this, do this. And it was working. They'll come back and say, this thing is working. Oh, why don't you try? So I had friends advising me, try doing this professionally, And I started somehow, small. It was working. And I started getting small money here and there.
Wow.
Anything that will give you money. Why not?
Wow. As long as it's legitimate.
And again, something that you're passionate about, something that flows naturally with you. So that was the reason why I just found myself there. Money. Good life.
I will not join you in this industry. Stay where you are. Let me stay where I am.
You like.
So, but tell me, what is the job of a sex coach? What do you do as a sex coach?
Now, you help people improve their sexual life. People have sex issues. For instance, people who have been raped, they begin to see sex in a different light. They may need that therapy. They may need somebody to talk to. How you have mental health experts. You have doctors who you can talk to about how you're feeling in your body. We should be able to talk about sex. It's not a bad thing. People make it, when it comes to sex, people think it's, you don't need to say this thing. Close your mouth. Our parents will just hold your mouth. You can't talk. But people are having sex. Having more sex than any other thing. So why can't we talk about it? So as a sex therapist or a sex coach, you guide people in the right way. You help people solve their sex problems. And at the same time, sometimes it's medical, sometimes it's just
psychological,
mind,
yeah.
So you just help them, guide them through it, help them get better. So having good sex and having that's the most important part of the
So let me ask you, what is sex for a woman without orgasm? I've heard a lot of people say, which one is orgasm again? I don't understand. When you people are talking about this, I used to feel like, are you sure I've experienced it? What do you call sex without orgasm, especially for women?
Okay, so a lot of women have not experienced orgasms. Somehow too, about 1% will never experience. No matter how you try. Strangely, it's a strange part. Some people may never. It's just the body.
Is that a curse?
Not a curse. It's just the body. I mean, for ladies who have been circumcised as well, it may be a lot harder or not even there at all. So there are different reasons why people may not experience orgasms. You don't need to beat yourself too hard. But the people who have the opportunity to experience the orgasms and are not experiencing it, it may be because the guy is not doing something right. Or the lady is not doing something right as well. So if you're having sex and you're not having orgasms, I think I don't know what it is, but it's just, you're just doing in and out together.
Plug and play?
Yeah, just, why? I mean, then leave it. Don't do it. Why waste your time if you won't have the desired end?
Some people don't even know what that desired end should be.
Some people have never experienced it.
Wow.
Never.
So how do you help? So if I come to you and say, okay, Sharon, I've been knocking since. I'm trying to be careful here.
No, it's
before
fine.
My producer
who says,
but when I hear people talk, I don't know if I've gotten to that place. I've never felt it like this. How do you come in?
So I say the strangest thing to them. Some people don't accept that because of biblical reasons, because of religion and all of that. But I say to them, explore your body to know what works for you first before you can tell your partner what works for you. So if you don't know that when they kiss you on the neck, you feel good, or you don't know if someone touches your boobs, you get some sensation, how do you want to explain it to the next person? If you don't know that you prefer to be stimulated on your
finger or the tongue,
yes, more than penetration, how do you want to tell the person that? So he may think you like penetration and you don't. You don't even come via penetration. You're just the person who wants them to just touch your and leave you. So you need to explore your own body. You need to understand your own body. Some people don't even know what their vagina looks like. You've not held a mirror before to see what you look like down there. How do you want to explain it to somebody? Yeah, seriously. You don't know what it looks like. I mean, for us women, it's different. The guys just have it out there. So
we can see.
You can see what everything about them is out. But for us, it's inside. So what they draw in biology in JS1, it's not how it looks exactly.
I think they look different.
You need to hold a mirror and see.
With everyone, it looks different,
yes.
I think. Yeah.
So there are different kinds of as well. I always say that. What kind of do you have? Do you have the curtain vagina? Do you have the one that the lips are wide? Do you have the one that is closed? You can't see your. What kind of vagina do you have? You need to look at it. That's the only way you can actually explain it to your partner. You need to explore your body. So how people choose to explore their bodies in different ways. Can you tell us some of the ways? Some people touch themselves. So
that's what you call
masturbation.
Okay. So the sex coach, so you're allowed to.
So some people, I'm saying it small, so in case Mickey, I'll now look, is Mickey saying yes or no, right? So some people touch themselves and see, okay, this works, this doesn't work. Some people use sex toys to stimulate, see, does this work? Other people who don't want to touch themselves, who feel it's a sin or it's a bad thing, talk to your partner, take it step by step. It's just like learning something. So today, let him touch the upper body, touch.
Let's see what happens.
See, okay, I'm not moved. Maybe here worked a bit, here didn't work. Then he goes down, he touches again. Say, okay, this part worked. I like this. You know, communication is very important in any relationship, sexual relationship. Communication. Once you cannot communicate, it causes a lot of things that you cannot even explain. You must communicate, you must be truthful, and you must be ready to learn, you must be willing to learn, take corrections, and explore. So as a guy, your girlfriend says to you, I probably didn't like the way you touched me there. You were too hard.
You go con the vex.
You con the vex. Say,
no, listen, Sharon. So we say, are you sure somebody else has not touched you? How do you know now? This touch has
exactly. How do you know that I wasn't doing it right? So these are the things you need to know your body, be able to explain your body to the next person, and then partner be willing to listen when they tell you, I don't like this one. Now she get body, she doesn't like it. You can't keep arguing, right? So communication is key. Both people, I think it's easier for guys. I always say the guys are the ones that enjoy sex, but they'll argue with me. Why I say that is because most times, however it is, they will just shack on.
Yeah,
somehow,
they always get there.
They just somehow will find themselves at the end. The end of the tunnel, they'll see the lights. But most times with girls, no matter how hard you try, it's much difficult. So allow the girl to tell you what she wants you to do. Listen to the sounds she's making. You to the girl, don't pretend.
Pay attention to the sounds. Okay.
If you listen properly or you pay attention properly, you know that when she makes the sound, she's pretending, or she actually likes it, or she doesn't like it.
Is it possible when they're in cloud 9 to know the difference between the sounds? Because sometimes you're screaming out of pain and the guy is firing. Pleasure. Yeah.
I don't know for the guys, so I don't know, because there's this thing I always say to people. I believe two people having sex, if the guy has the thing at the back of his mind, like, I want to pleasure this lady first before I come, and the girl says the same thing, I want to pleasure the guy first before I come,
you will satisfy yourself.
They'll satisfy themselves.
I agree.
But when one person when they believe it's a case of I've worked my own salvation, go and walk your own. There's some people who say that it's not my duty to make you come. If I come, then you should come. Right?
If you cannot come, you can go.
Exactly, you can go. But they forget that with ladies, it takes longer time for most ladies, especially the ones who have their clitoris inside.
Yeah.
So the ones who are lucky who have their clitoris outside, they stimulate faster.
Yeah.
So while you're probably inside, it's easier for any other thing to touch them and they come. But the ones that have it inside, you need to do more things. You probably need to touch while you're penetrating. You need to do extra things. The highest form of pleasure is gotten from the clitoris, not the vagina. And that's one thing most people need to know. Men need to know that. Is the that gives the most pleasure in the whole body of a woman. That's the highest. And there's a hood. So it's not just touching the clitoris too. Some people have the clitoris shaped like this. You need to open it and get the thing. The hood is covering that
tiny
clitoris.
dot, right?
So sometimes you need to, some people have it covered. You need to separate it. So you need to, that's why I say you need to know.
It sounds like work. It sounds like you need to go to school for it.
You don't need to, actually. You don't need to. If the lady understands her body, it's easier to just tell you this is what it is.
True.
But when she doesn't even know what she's carrying, it's the same thing with human beings now. They say, well, you don't know what you have. If you don't know what you have,
can't use it.
You can't use it.
You can't use it. So let me ask you, what is the role of chemistry when it comes to a person's sexual satisfaction? Chemistry between partners. What do you think? What role do you think it plays?
It plays a good role, though. Let's be sincere. It plays a really, really good role, because if you have chemistry, you have attraction, it makes it easier. So it's psychology. Because you like this person, because you're into this person, you somehow just think everything the person does is awesome. So that's what happens with chemistry.
And your body responds way.
Responds faster. When you don't like the person, you can, sometimes the person you don't like, you can touch from today to tomorrow.
Nothing is happening. Wow.
You're not moving, So chemistry actually plays a really, really good role. Chemistry, attraction, communication. I'm very, very, very particular about communication. I always say this to any of my clients or anybody I'm talking to. I always talk about communication. You need to talk. After every sex, ask your partner,
did I satisfy you?
Did you enjoy it? What didn't you like? You two that they're asking, try.
And talk true.
Say the truth. Don't tell the person it was nice, I enjoyed, and you know you did not enjoy it. There was a guy I had a conversation with, and he said he didn't like the way the girl used to give him the BJ.
Okay.
Right? And did you tell her about it? No. Did she ask you if it was good? Yes. What was your response? It was wonderful. She will bite you tomorrow now. She will still bite you because you said it was wonderful. So in her mind, since you've told her it's wonderful, it means she's doing it right. Yeah. In fact, she'll add more pressure the next time and bite shaggy from your body.
Daylight out of it.
So communicate. Say what you like. Say what you don't like. Try, explore. See, you cannot continue doing one thing. No, you'll be tired. Explore. Sometimes it's the little things. Just the fact that somebody dresses nicely today and just dances for you. That's
it.
Maybe tomorrow we go out spontaneously and just in the car. So it's not about every time planning it. Okay, once it's night, once it's 12 o'clock, we'll off the lights. Then we'll go into the room. You lie down.
This girl is savage.
People, they tire.
You lie down and raise your leg.
They don't even used to raise the leg. You just open it. You're even raising leg. You tried. Just open it. Then the girl will now lie down there like a log of wood.
I'm already having a headache, Sharon.
And they finish. Like, what is this?
Okay. Let me ask you this question before we go on the break. So, a lot of people have talked about sex toys. Like, okay, let me, first of all, are you a Christian?
Yes, I am.
You believe in God? You go to church?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So a lot of people have, I know why I asked that question.
Yeah, sure.
Talked about sex toys. And for some people, they feel it's unnatural to be introduced into sexual relationships. As a sex coach, what sort of role do you think a sex toy plays in sex?
For religion, I tell people, do what you know you're doing for yourself, not because anybody has asked you to do it. So if you believe that introducing sex toys is bad,
because
don't introduce. You want to make heaven, that's between you and God. Don't introduce, but make sure you have a partner who doesn't want to introduce too. Because that's where the wahala comes. So if your partner is sex toy inclined or interested heavily in sex toys, and you think it's somehow, after a while, they'll start feeling, you need to try. So it's better you get somebody who has the same belief as well. But for sex toys, I mean, it spices up the relationship.
Okay.
Sometimes the guy is too tired to even do the work. Maybe you've had a long day. It's human body now. Sometimes your body will be tired. Sometimes you're not even in the mood to have sex. It's not because you hate your partner or you think the person is not attractive anymore. It's just the body. You're probably thinking of so many things. You have work. But it would be selfish not to help your partner. Maybe at that point your partner is horny or wants to do something, and because you're not in the mood, say no. when you have sex toys, you spice up. You can decide to use the sex toy on the person and you're not doing the work. You don't need to, get yourself up doing anything. You just do, and she'll be happy. You'll be happy too. Nobody stressed you. Nobody stressed her. So it helps in spicing up your relationship. It helps in spicing up. There are different kinds of sex toys. When people say sex toys, almost everybody thinks it's just dildo and the lubes and all of that. There's so many other things. They have the sex cards. They have sex dices. So like the sex cards are it's just like our normal words. You know, those words that you play. So there are different things written on it. You can just shuffle the cards and pick one and you say maybe give your partner a kiss for 10 minutes. It's just spicing up the relationship. Most times you hear girls complain about the fact that they don't have enough foreplay before penetration. Their partner just goes straight into penetration and it's a problem for them. So if you don't know how to even go through that long process, that can help you. There are sex dices. You throw the dice and you see different write-ups and then you try and make a word out of it. It even bonds you together.
I like
That's what people don't even know. It bonds you because there's some things you see doesn't make sense. You laugh. There's some relationship people are not laughing. They're not laughing. Very strong relationship. All these things just help to spice up, make things better, and give you a happy life. I call it a happy life.
Sharon.
A happy life.
On that note, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation and we'll be asking the big question. Does size matter? When we come back, stay with us.
Hi guys, my name is Sharon Ifeoma Anene, a.k.a. Shazzling, the one and only sex therapist in Nigeria, and you're listening to Shipreneur with BC Ubo on Africa Business Radio. Don't touch the dial.
Welcome back. You're still listening to Shipreneur with BC Ubo on Africa Business Radio, and I still have Shazzling having this raunchy conversation on sex. And I asked the question before we went on break, which is, does size matter?
Size doesn't matter. That's the truth.
Okay.
There are people who have massive penis and cannot do nothing
with it.
Yes. So many people. So I've had so many people who say, I followed him because he had big
the bola was heavy.
Yes. And at the end of the day, nothing came out though.
The bola couldn't work.
So it's not really about the size. It's about how do you use what you have. What God gave you. How did you use it? Did you use it right?
Did you hit
Did you read the spots or not? Sometimes, when we say that too, did you read the spots? If it's not so long, he may not read the spots.
So what do you do in that case?
They have penis extensions. That's where sex toys come in place. The sex toys they are running away from. There's so many things. It's not just about dildo. There are penis extensions. You wear it. It's shaped like a penis. You wear it on your penis. It's longer than yours, but it has the vibrations. So it gives the girl
spots.
Intense orgasms, and it gives you orgasms because you have the grip as well.
Wow.
They don't know these things.
Wow.
Come, let me teach you these things. Stop running away. Sex is sweet. Enjoy sex. Don't take it to be it should be like this.
Yeah.
Because that's what they made us believe. It's just like learning in school. What they've not taught you, you can't know.
They don't allow you to know. Yeah. True.
So
I remember.
If you've not been taught, how do you know that is the right thing? Anything that you think is right now is because somebody told you that is the right thing to do.
Or you found out.
Or you
read about it.
Somehow you just got to know, okay, it should be this way, it should be that way. There are different ways, right? Size does not matter. There are people who have little or nothing, but know how to use it.
They know how to work it.
Partners too, like I said, if your partner doesn't even like penetration as much, if you carry the biggest thing, if she's not the penetration type, you will penetrate with that big thing you have, and she will still not have pleasure. She will still not come. So what's the need?
Do you believe in compatibility of the
sexual compatibility?
Yeah, private parts.
To some extent, I'll say yes. To some extent, there are some that will enter it will scatter the pH value and pH level. Honestly.
Is it those times that has to shift something?
It's not even shifting. It will just scatter. The girl start itching. The person is not dirty. The person doesn't have anything wrong with the person. There's nothing wrong with the guy. There's nothing wrong with the girl.
Okay.
He just did not agree.
So he rejected it. You're telling me now, Sharon. No, let's take it one at a time. You're telling me now that some vaginas reject some penises.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
To reject it, after everything, you will just be uncomfortable. You now start going for tests. They tell you nothing is wrong with you. That's one. Some people are not just sexually compatible. I don't know. They try everything. They do everything. But you're not just enjoying it. That's why I find some people still cheating. Because with their partner, they've done everything. They'll tell you, I've done all these sexual positions. I'm not still satisfied. Then they will now go to one boy and it's just small missionary. She will just lie down. She won't do anything. Just little missionary of about 5 seconds. And she's okay. You see that she tell you, I enjoyed it.
Could it be as a result of having had multiple sex partners before getting into a relationship? Could it be what is the issue?
I don't know about... I think that one is for individuals.
Okay.
When you want to go into a relationship, it's a different ball game. When you're not in a relationship, some people decide to have different partners.
Okay.
Up to them. But I don't believe, or I don't want to believe, that after having multiple partners, you now come to your partner and you feel he's not doing enough. You can teach the person. You already know what you like.
What you
now.
want, yeah. What
in
you
fact,
like.
it's easier for you because you've had multiple. It's supposed to be easier, yeah. You know the ones. If you had 10, out of the 10, you know maybe 6 did it right, 4 did nothing right. You can now tell this new person and say, you don't need to tell him you had 6, so make him no go dump you. You just say,
Are you saying we should have like a non-disclosure agreement when you're getting into a relationship? Aren't you supposed to be honest and
you're
truthful?
Supposed to be honest.
And give them your body count?
Hey.
Even my PA is laughing.
You know, this thing now is a different topic altogether. Actually, some people want you. It now depends on your partner. Okay. Some partners want you to be genuinely sincere with them. Tell them I had 10 people and these were the 10 people, so that tomorrow they don't have it, they don't take it as something serious. But there are some partners you tell you had 10.
They will go.
Every time they see you, they will see the 22.
They will see the 10 following you.
And maybe when they see you with the one of the 10, it's a problem. So you need to understand your partner as well. But I believe it's not everything you say. It's not everything you say. It's not everything you have to say. Not because you're going back to those 10 people. All things have passed away.
All things have become
new.
Baga.
But hold some conversations, some information to yourself. I don't think all partners tell themselves everything. I still don't believe. There may be one thing that you keep away from your partner, not because you cannot share that information, but just because you don't want issues. You don't want
tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, especially with girls. You tell a girl that is jealous or she's very possessive. You can't tell her you had 10 girls. Then you're telling her that out of the 10, 6 were squirting. Then she cannot squirt. My dear,
you rest the case.
Just leave her more, because.
Okay. So Sharon, how do you tell your partner that they're not doing it right? Some people find it difficult to express themselves, especially when it comes to sexual matters. How do you encourage people to open up? How can they start telling their partner to do it right, or help them do it right?
The first way to open up is to be very comfortable with your partner. So if you're comfortable with your partner, if you have a good conversation, if you have a good relationship, you talk well, it's supposed to be easier. Don't go and say it when he's angry. Maybe he came back, his day has been bad, you now have sex and you tell him you not do it well. That's a problem. You should know the right time to say it. Maybe people are having a happy moment. You can just ship it in. Let's try this. Babe, let's try this. Just something nice. You see his response. But I want to say to every person, individually, be very receptive.
Okay.
Make sure that as one person in the relationship, you're willing to listen. Listen, learn, from your mistakes.
Take
and
feedback.
Be better. Yes. So when they tell you, I didn't like the way you did this, you don't see it from a place of anger. See it from a place of, okay, I want this person to enjoy every moment with me. Then you too that you're telling the person, don't use a harsh voice. You know how to talk. I mean, don't come and tell me, what is this one self you did? I don't understand this one you did though. It was not nice. Of course, you make the person feel bad. Maybe if you say that the person was thinking I was doing it well, you just drop the morale, and once you drop that kind of morale, it's hard to bring it back. So the conversation doesn't just flow. At that point, the person is not listening anymore. So you need to know the right time to speak, how to say it. You mustn't throw everything. If maybe there are 5 things he did wrongly, don't throw all 5
at the same time.
He will feel like he didn't do anything right at all,
or like an attack.
So you can just say, oh, I really start from the things you even enjoyed. I really, really enjoyed this today. I enjoyed this part. But I think we should try this part like this. Instead of, I think you didn't do this one at all, right? We should try this other way next time. You may even decide to just say, this one you did now. Okay, let's try this other way. Let's see how it is. So it's the way you talk. My father always says something. He says, you can tell somebody to go to hell and the person will laugh, and you tell another person go to heaven and the person is angry. But heaven is a good place. And
it's just the way you pass the message.
Exactly.
Awesome. So what sort of sex education do you think we can be giving to our young people right now?
Start with telling them what they have down there, how it works. We need to talk about sex. Talk to your children about sex. Once they're like 6, start talking about sex. Because if you go to the primary schools, what they are doing there,
I know.
Teachers need to tell you. That's another. You need to bring a teacher here to tell you what they see. You see a small child, 6 years, knows how to give blowjob. How? So it's not about waiting till they are teenagers anymore. You need to start from childhood. Start telling them, this is what you have. This is what you can do. Explain to them.
This is not the time.
When I was growing up, there was a friend of mine whose mom used to give her sons condom. They're like 19, 20, in their 20s. Well,
okay.
So anytime they're going out, she puts condom in their bag. At first, people didn't understand why she was doing it, but now I understand why she was doing it.
Why do you think she was doing it?
She does not want the child to come back with one child, having a child or a disease or something. Protect yourself. And guess what? Half the time they're not using the condom.
They'll bring it back.
Yeah. Because even if they used it, she would tell them, okay, this thing you did, how did it happen? What happened? She had a conversation. She had a communication with her children. And I loved it because that's the best way to help the child not to go astray.
I carried one in my purse in the university for the longest time. The friend of mine that gave it to me, anytime we check, he said, you have not used this thing. I said, no, it's for, I was just feeling cool that I had something. It's not like I planned to use it, but then it was there and he was using it to keep tabs on me. Like, you have not used this thing. I said, where am I using it? I just feel like I'm a big girl now to carry that sort of thing.
They need to learn. We need to teach them. As parents, as sisters, there's some kids that can't talk to their parents. You have elder ones. If you're an aunt, an uncle, talk to your nieces, your nephews, talk to them about these things. Somebody in the family needs to at least make it a point of duty. I ask my nephew from time to time, come, which girl do you like? Come and show me. Have people started kissing? I will laugh.
I tease my kids too.
I know that when he now change, when the no changes to, I know that
something
kissing. Then I'll not say, don't do this one. So you should be able to talk about these things. If you keep pretending, they are having sex. Okay. Let me drop my pen.
Okay.
They're having sex. Teenagers.
I know.
These people are doing.
I know.
You see a teenage girl of 16, 17. Her body count is going to 50.
Already.
Not a joke. Wow. Not a joke. 50. She has cleared 50 on the spot. People are laughing. Okay. I'm serious.
He said I clear la gala.
She don't clear. She they collect 150. I've not even reached anywhere close to that one. And I'm how old? In my 30s. How? Why are those people giving the pennies to be used? They're men. pedophiles are there. You need to have a conversation with these people about sex. Let them not even get molested. For several reasons, you need to talk about this thing. You need to be a free parent. You need to be a free aunt. They should be able to come to you and say, see what happened to me today. Be that one person in the family who they can talk to sexually. We all need to make it a point of duty. If you're the only person in the family that your younger ones can come to talk, because they'll be raped and nobody will talk because they're worried they don't have anybody to talk to. So make yourself available to discuss, to guide the younger ones.
So how do you help someone who has sexual addiction or sex addiction?
Now that's another thing people don't talk about. We have drug addicts, we have alcohol addicts,
we have sex
addicts. We
addicts.
don't agree that we have sex addicts. There are sex addicts out there. Now, for sex addicts, I trace it back to their roots.
Childhood.
Most times it's a case of rape. It's a case of molestation, especially for the guys. One big auntie somewhere was calling them at 13 with malt and chin-chin and was touching them, and they grew old and found out that they became addicts. They didn't even know that they're addicts. So you have to go back to your roots, go back to your childhood. Let's know what happened. How was your childhood? What made you become this way? It's the same thing with drugs. You start from there and then you go back. What is the drug you took, right? Then you start looking for remedies. That one now is one I do on consultation, So you have to check, how was your childhood? Was it as a case of being raped? Is it a case of being molested as a little child? Is it that you watched a lot of and you have to start from there. Then from there we now know how to. Every case has a different approach. Every case has a different approach, and with the person. So I can't really give a general. It's not like a drug one that I just say, okay, or go to the hospital. We have to do it one-on-one. We have to now trace a lot of things. But averagely, I would say when you check and you have to make a decision first. Just like saying, oh, I've done this thing, I don't want to do it again. So you have to hold yourself, have self-control first. Self-control will help you more. If you can have self-control, you can do half of the job. Then you also need to find a way to tell yourself that I want to be a better person. If you can't tell yourself you want to be a better person, you'll still fall. It's still like withdrawal symptoms. There's sometimes you still fall along the way, but it's something that you take one step at a time. Then you must talk to somebody about it. You must talk to a therapist, a coach. You need to talk to somebody. It may be a friend you can confide in, right? You have to talk to somebody who will help you, because it's a strong addiction. Then when you know that maybe you get addicted when you come to a certain place and you see girls, you avoid that place. So if when I come to a party where everybody's dancing naked, I must do something. Don't go to that party. Stay at home.
Stay away from your triggers.
Work on your mind as well. It starts from the mind. When you've told yourself, I like this person, if you imagine how it will be with this person. Half the time when the person is there with you alone and the person wants it, you lose guard. Right? So work on your mind, avoid the things that trigger it, and then self-control just help you.
Basically. So how lucrative is the sex business?
Very.
Are you kidding me?
There is money in the business.
You will pay tithes to do.
There is money because people are having sex. They want to talk about sex. But the thing is, they're still hiding. They don't want to come out. They don't want people to know. I'm talking. Like when I finish, people tell me, have mind though. Say this guy, have mind. Are you not having sex? Why do you want to talk about
I'm having the mind. You are having the sex.
And most times the things they've done is even more than me. When they say, you've even tried this one. I'm not reached there. So why can't we talk about these things? It's okay to talk about it. It's not a bad thing. It's only a sin when God has said before marriage. But he didn't say don't talk about it. There's no place where he said you shouldn't talk about sex.
You shouldn't have that conversation.
It's just society and people that made us believe we shouldn't talk about it. So talk about this thing. It's a good business. People are making money off it because people are. It's an industry. It's a full sex. In fact, we should have the sex industry.
I think we
have,
it.
but we don't just talk about it. We don't like to say it's an industry. It's a serious industry.
That's why I call this conversation the new sex culture. A lot of things are changing, and it's high time we start having this sort of conversation. We start talking about it so that people can be aware. Yeah. And I'm very happy that you came today. It has been an enlightening conversation, very raunchy conversation, and I hope to bring more of this. I hope to call you anytime. Are you ready to come?
If you want to make it every week, I'm here. We can do it weekly.
Yeah,
I'm here.
Excited. Thank you so much. We wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Wish you more customers that need help in their sexual life. Yeah. And that's it on Shepreneur with BC Ubo on Africa Business Radio. Till I come your way again next week. Bye bye.